Well, it's been a while, but today, here we are again talking about Jonathan Majors. His ex-girlfriend, who was civilly suing him for assault and defamation, has dropped that lawsuit. We'll talk about what that means, but also talk about the future of Kang. As recently we have heard a little bit of information about what Marvel Studios might be planning to once again possibly have Kang in the MCU. And after this news came out yesterday, this was reported by Deadline, a lot of people automatically started to ask, well, does this mean that Marvel Studios might hire him back at some point in time? After all, they did fire and then rehire James Gunn, and now James Gunn is in charge of DC Studios. So comeback stories in the industry are definitely real, but a lot of people misunderstand exactly what is going on here. He is still convicted of everything that he was found guilty of in court. So this is totally different than what happened in the previous trial. Just to explain this, basically about a year ago when all of this went down, Jonathan Majors was convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor assault against his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabarri. He was convicted of 2 misdemeanor counts of reckless assault and harassment. That stays the same. That still happened. And he was sentenced to probation. That all happened. That is not negated. It's a completely separate thing than her personally filing a civil lawsuit against him, which is what she did. So this lawsuit was on top of the other trial, on top of what he was convicted for. But now she has dropped the lawsuit in which she has accused him of assault and defamation. Now, there's a lot of people already coming out stating, see, he didn't really do it. She knows it. That's why she's dropping it. And that may be the case, but what most likely happened is they settled outside of court, which they do not have to reveal. They don't have to reveal if there was some sort of a settlement. That doesn't have to be made public. And usually that is what happens for civil cases. It's a very common reason for so-called dropping a lawsuit for a civil case. Usually they settle outside of court, and that's most likely what happened here. However, that is not confirmed. We do not know that. Just want to clarify that. But in these situations, that is commonly what happens. So unfortunately, I'm not really sure this will have any kind of effect on how Marvel Studios sees him and sees the situation of what he has been through. Now, again, kudos to Marvel Studios because they waited until he was officially found guilty to drop him. His PR team, his managers, basically everybody dropped him when they simply came out with the case against him before he was even found guilty. But Marvel Studios did wait, and then the day he was convicted, that's when they fired him. So to me, it kind of seems like a label thing, because if he wasn't found guilty, he would still be here. We'd still have Kang, and specifically he would be Kang, because there is still the possibility that Kang could appear in the MCU. Once Jonathan Majors was let go by Marvel Studios, we heard a ton of different rumors about what was going on. Like Marvel Studios is going to recast him, or Marvel Studios is going to get rid of him. Marvel Studios changed the Kang dynasty to simply just Avengers 5. A lot happened at the time. Now, ultimately, of course, they revealed their plans when Robert Downey Jr. came out at San Diego Comic-Con, revealed himself as Doom, and Marvel Studios revealed that the next Avengers film, Avengers 5, which was Kang Dynasty, is now Avengers Doomsday, effectively putting an end to all the rumors that we've heard. However, we're not quite done yet with the character Kang, or at least Marvel Studios still has the option to use him if they want. According to trusted industry insider Alex Perez from thecosmiccircus.com, Kang right now is sidelined. He is gone, but it doesn't mean the character can't be brought back later on down the road in some capacity. This is what he revealed a little bit over a week ago. And this does help because fans have been wondering if he really is indeed gone, because we kind of got closure, but not directly. Loki Season 2, which did have Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains, a Kang the Conqueror variant, ended with the TVA basically monitoring the sacred timeline and other timelines for Kang variants. And originally the plan was for the Council of Kangs to rise up and basically overrun the TVA and kind of all of the Avengers. As far as we know, that's what was supposed to happen. Loki Season 2, the ending wasn't the ending for Kang. At least it wasn't intended to be originally. However, now they can kind of retcon it to be, well, that's what happened. That's why Kang is no longer around. The TVA takes care of him. But that could all change. Alex Perez stated, Kang is gone for now. It doesn't mean the character can't be brought back later on down the road in some capacity, but if they do, chances are they'll recast the character if they want to keep him as a villain, or go with the Iron Lad route and use a younger actor to become Nathaniel. For those who are unfamiliar with Iron Lad is a Kang the Conqueror variant or a Nathaniel Richards variant. Nathaniel Richards being the original name of Kang the Conqueror. He's a variant who finds out that he is going to be evil in the future and does everything he can to be good. He is a member of the Young Avengers. However, unfortunately, ultimately, he accepts his fate. That is a super oversimplified story of that, just a quick story because that's not the main focus of this video. But the main focus is Kang could come back. But unfortunately, it sounds like Jonathan Majors is not going to be playing Kang. Now, could that all change? Could something happen and Marvel Studios decide to give him another chance? Sure, that's always an option, but I don't think it's highly likely. And don't get me wrong, I've always been in Jonathan Majors' corner. Obviously, the court ruled with Grace Jabarri based on the evidence that they had, and it is what it is. But America is all about comeback stories, so who knows? But I do think that keeping the character Kang an option for the future of the MCU is a really good idea, especially if Doom is going to destroy the multiverse, and then we get a new multiverse after Avengers Secret Wars. Because when that happens, that essentially undoes everything the TVA did. In fact, I kind of wonder if there's even going to be a TVA in the new multiverse. So once the multiverse gets destroyed and it's rebuilt, that means Kang and his variants are going to pop up again. And although I don't think they're going to go back to the whole multiversal war thing relatively soon after we do the soft reboot, that is going to be an option still. And since the future of the MCU is so bright. I mean, Kevin Feige just recently confirmed that the X-Men are going to be appearing in some movies before Secret Wars, and then Secret Wars sets up the future, which is the mutant era of the MCU. The future is so bright for the next saga with the mutant / X-Men, Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. There's going to be a lot of stories there, and of course we're going to get X-Men films, and we're going to get Avengers films still, and perhaps Kang could still be one villain that goes up against them in maybe one movie. He probably won't go on to be a big bad again, and again, unfortunately, it's not going to be Jonathan Majors, it sounds like. But if you are a fan of the character Kang the Conqueror, that's some good news for you, because it sounds like maybe Marvel's going to revisit the character later on down the road. Which they should. He is a good character. I liked the story they were building up with Kang the Conqueror, and I really liked the Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene setting up all of the Kangs and the Council of Kang specifically. And I do hope they revisit that in some way, shape, or form in the future. Unfortunately for now, it doesn't look like Jonathan Majors is going to be making his return. That doesn't mean it's not possible. It is, but probably not likely, which is sad, but it is what it is. So I hope this clarified a few things for you. Let me know your thoughts on the whole situation in the comments down below. And now that we have Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doom now, let me know, would you prefer Kang to still be here, or would you prefer Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom? Let us know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the MCU. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.